Hello and welcome to the start of my new YouTube channel, Stalker Therian. Today I'm going to be talking about what is a Therian. This is my first video, so I apologize for sounding weird or anything that might not make sense. Please give me some tips in the comments if you'd like. Moving on, what is a Therian? A Therian is someone who non-physically identifies as an animal based on involuntary experiences. I know it can be a mouthful, so I'm going to go more in-depth on what I just said. So starting from the beginning, with non-physical identities, that means that we don't believe we can physically become an animal. We cannot transform into an animal. We just mentally are in some way. This is a common misconception from the outside of the community looking in, is that people think that we believe we can become an animal, or some type of werewolf or something. This is completely false. No one truly believes that within our community, and if someone does, I suggest they seek psychiatric help immediately. So, non-physically identifying as an animal, the animal part of it is a key part of their identity. It is something deeply ingrained with them. You know, it's not something that they just decide one day, they wake up and they say, "Oh, I'm a wolf today." They really look deep into their involuntary experiences, which is what I'm going to move on to now. So for the involuntary experience, they might experience like instincts, like hunting or pack behavior. This is not something they intentionally choose. It is fully involuntary. But I do suggest for people to really look into it. For example, pack instincts could just be a human social instinct. We are still human and therefore have human instincts. So at times it is very easy for someone to confuse that with regular human instincts. Another common misconception from people looking from the outside into our community is that we can choose to be a Therian. It is not a choice. It is not something we actively choose to do. It is either something that has been there your entire life and has just always been a part of you, but you've never been able to put a label on it, or something that has developed later in life. But even if the identity does come later in life, it is still not a voluntary choice. Everything they are experiencing is fully involuntary. I should also mention that if someone chooses to be a Therian, there is a different term for that, such as other heart, link types, or fun link. I'll make separate videos on those if anyone wants. One important terminology within the community is a theriotype, or a kin type, which basically means it is the animal you identify as. So if I were to say that I'm deerkin, that would mean that that is the animal I non-physically identify as. So what are the causes of someone being a Therian? A Therian is either spiritual or psychological, or a mix of both, sometimes none, if they have a different theory about how their Therianthropy came into existence, which is completely valid if that's their personal views on it. So I'm going to start out with the psychological aspects and how someone might identify as a Therian psychologically, because I personally am a psychological Therian. So psychological Therians can either be through something like neurodivergency, like autism, or possibly caused by childhood trauma of some kind. It should be noted that Therianthropy is not recognized in the DSM as a mental illness or as a symptom of any mental illness. And from the spiritual side of things, one common belief is that it is a past life. There is a common misconception that every Therian that has a spiritual belief of their Therianthropy has a past life. This is false. There's many other spiritual beliefs that could have caused it, like soul in the wrong body, the multiple dimension theory, and many others that I'm sure I'm not aware of. In a few rare cases I've seen, there are some people that believe maybe one identity is from a spiritual aspect, while another one is trauma-caused. It should be noted that Therianthropy is not a connection with an animal. Despite what some people on the outside, or even inside our community says, it is a really big issue with misconception in our own community. And that is all for today. Please subscribe and like the video so it can be spread to more people, so more people can learn about this topic. My next video will be about common misconceptions within the Therian community. I hope you all have an amazing day, and goodbye.